Hi, this is my Aura Magic Alpha 4 release. In this release, I've added quite a few things. The first thing I did was I added an extra spell scroll, which makes stairs going down. Now this was because once you make stairs going up, and if you're trying to get up to one of these platforms, there's no way down again, and the only way to get down would be to fall or something like that. So the main idea is, let me get some wind crystals. Okay. So it will create exactly the same thing but going down. And then the secondary spell is a block, just a single block, doesn't do anything special, but what it does allow you to do is it sits there for 4 times as long. So this allows you to then go like this and then get off and then sit here for a while. Now obviously with the level 1 spells they stop very quickly, so this doesn't last that long, but it lasts long enough that you can actually just get your bearings and stuff. Now with level 2, level 3 it's the same, where it's a little bit longer, so... And then the staircase is a lot longer, and then this block is just exactly the same, except it's 4 times the length as these last. Next, I did a few updates to the starter NPC. There's one big change that probably you won't notice, but what I was doing is I was using particles just to project the ghost above here, and I was having issues where I was trying to move it around and stuff like that. So instead of doing that, I created a separate entity and turned it into a ghost. By doing that, I got to reuse the animations from the normal humans. So when the ghost appears, it will actually now animate, but I'll show you that all a little bit later on. I've also changed some of the dialogues and I've added a shop to it. Then next, now that's the old prefab, what it used to look like. So it was just a single little temple with an angel below. And what I've done is I've taken all the side roofs off and I've created all these. So these are the bridges. So what it will do is it'll randomly spawn either one of these or one of those, and if it spawns a bridge then it will spawn another one of these next to it. And these are the 4 random bridges that you have. They always spawn at the correct height. And then these are the attachments. So this is like a little temple attachment. This is a lookout. This is a smaller one. This is an actual room that you can go in. And there's a bed inside. This is just your standard connection, which is that little roof section over there. Another tree, a tree. That will then create quite a large structure potentially. It can have up to 5 of these middle sections, and each of them are loaded with crystals. So the amount of crystals you can get from here is quite a bit more. But the other problem is there potentially could be 5 of those little wind sprites protecting the place. Sometimes they do jump off, but I'm going to be fixing that in the next release. Then the next thing I did is that one over there, the large temple. I did the same thing. I took the middle base, and then this one's slightly more simple. I just added 4 different types. Randomly I can attach to all 4 corners. Now again, there's one where it will actually add a extra spawning entity. That's the same as that one on the side. This one is the same as that one, and then these 2 are new. I did take the gems away, so I only really want the gems to be in these top ones, so it's quite a little bit harder to get the gems. There's not loads of crystals because this is quite a bit low down, and if potentially this spawns with 4 of these, there can again be 5 of these little sprites in there, so it could potentially be a bit dangerous, and they're much closer to each other. This was just basically referring to the spawning of the world. So what I've done is I've not made it spawn in the zone 4, and then in zone 3, 2 and 1 I've worked out the average height for it, and I've only allowed things to spawn a little bit above that average height. So what that gives you is it will only spawn in high areas. So it's essentially going to give you a lot less crystals all over the place. What I did then is I made the crystals that spawn in high places, especially like very high mountains, spawn way more. And then the second thing I did is I made the crystals themselves. They got these little connections coming off, and I allowed them to be a little bit longer. So now I'm going to do the usual and start a world. Okay, I've just joined the world. So nothing much has changed here, the same as the last time. So you can accept the quests or you can decline the quests. I'm just going to give myself some stuff. So now this is slightly different. He moves out. The actual entity has got a separate head and arms, and the eyes are inset a bit. But as you notice, he'll now start moving around. And this has got similar animations to a normal NPC. I am in the future planning to make him move around. You will still have to press F here to talk to it, but when you do that, he'll zoom back here and start talking to you. I've got quite a few other ideas for him, but for now that's good enough. So then this is the same. Now here is different. So this is like a sort of a main menu, I guess. I'm probably going to add a bit more dialogue here. And you got your usual wind help, which is back to what this used to be. And then you can go to a shop. Now this is your standard Hytale shop. You get this on your Quebecs and stuff. I've just added my own items here. This allows you to convert any other shard to a wind magic shard. Next I'll show you around. Okay, so first I'm going to zoom out. So here's a mountain behind me. Okay, go first. So there will still be shards, crystals spawning in these high areas. There won't be as often, but in the mountains. Okay, this is not a very high mountain, but you notice they are a little bit longer. The other thing I've changed here is these crystals, sometimes they used to spawn 4 of them in a row, and I've only allowed it to be 1. They, as you notice, they are a little bit bigger. Sometimes you'll still get small ones. There's a bit of a higher mountain. Next I'm going to go look for the structures. Okay, let me go look a bit more. Oh, there's one over there. Okay, since these things are quite big, you can actually see them on maps. Like, there's one there, there's one there. So this is the high up temple. The lower temples you'll probably be able to see on the map as well. But I won't look for that now. So we want to go there. Oh, there we go. So now what you can see is this is the center temple, and what it's done is it's spawned 3 bridges, and then each of those have got little substructures coming off them. And it will only ever have 1 room and 1 lookout. It potentially can have 0 of them, but it will never have more of them. Okay, let me just go look at the other one. That is up there. Okay, this one's a bit smaller. Same story. So you can see there's no room here. But the nice thing about this is these roughly have about 200 crystals in it each. So with this you could, and there are some crystals all over the place, so you can get up to about 300, maybe less. And you'll get quite a few gems up there, and obviously with more than that you'll get more. Okay, let me just fly around. Ah, there's a nice big one. So they do still spawn in the deserts, but they only spawn in high places. So again, if you go running around like at the low areas, you'll get like no crystals. But this is, I mean, you see it's quite high off the ground. And yeah, here's a nice example of a very large one. So it's got all 5 of them. So you should have 5 of these little sprites protecting the area. Again, my next update is going to be fixing up the sprites, so stopping them from jumping off all the time. Next, there we go. There's an example. I think this is just your, not much different. Yeah, so this one's just got your standard 3 sides, and then it's added a long version, well, a semi-long version. That's not even as long as it can get. This one's got 3 sides on it. Ah, there's the long version I was talking about. There we go. Then, of course, nothing spawns in here. I did think it looked like really out of place with these wind crystals spawning here. Show that. Okay, so like I was saying, you can see this on your map quite easily. These ones, and there's another one over there. Okay, I'm just going to zoom up to the ice biome. Frost. Yeah, so now you'll get way more of these spawning. Okay, that's quite a simple one. And with these mountains, they sometimes go really high, and then you'll get the chance of these things spawning right next to each other. Yeah, there's that nice bridge. So it's definitely worth going to the ice biome still, but it's sticking to the mountains. Anyway, thanks for watching and goodbye.